Well, hello, comic book lovers, and welcome to another edition of Rorschach's Comics. We hope you're enjoying your quarantine, and if your quarantine has been spent on YouTube, Disney Plus, and the like, we hope that this video will add to all your quarantine watching needs. All right, so when I was making my last video about the Green Lantern Lost Army comic, it occurred to me that some of the Lantern terminology and phrases may have been lost on, anyone that's not familiar with Green Lantern stories or the like. So I decided today we'd do a brief history of Green Lantern and get into a little bit of the various factions, of which many of you don't know there is more than one Lantern Corps. The Green Lanterns are not the only one. All right, so let's get with it. All right, so the original Green Lantern, or OGL, was Alan Scott, who first appeared in All American Comics number 16, which came out in July of 1940. Scott was a railway engineer who, after a train accident, found a magic lantern that spoke to him and told him it could grant him great power. Using the lantern, he made a ring to harness the power. Two of the limitations of the ring were that he would have to charge it every day by touching it to the lantern, and that it could not act directly against anything made of wood. So, if your opponent had a number 2 pencil, you were out of luck. Later, in 1959, Green Lantern was reinvented as Hal Jordan, who is now a member of an intergalactic police force known as the Green Lantern Corps, which was overseen by the Guardians of the Universe, who were small little blue people basically space smurfs. Some notable members of the Corps being Kilowog, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, who is jokingly referred to as the Christmas Lantern, because not only did he have a Green Lantern ring, but also a Red Lantern ring, which we'll get into more of that later. Kyle Rayner and Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz were other notable Earth-based Green Lanterns. Each Green Lantern protects a sector of space, with Earth sector being denoted Sector 2814. And the Green Lantern Corps was based on the planet of Oa, which sits in the center of the universe as his home, and is home to the central power battery, which is the source of power for the Green Lantern Corps. In the beginning of the universe, 7 entities were born that the Guardians learned to tap into and formed power batteries that were called lanterns, and powered the rings that allowed the wearer to make hard energy light constructs that were limited only by the ring bearers and imagination. Where's Frodo when we need one? The first corps to be formed was the Green Lantern Corps, whose constructs were powered by willpower. The second was the Sinestro Corps, which was powered by the disgraced Green Lantern Sinestro. Their rings were powered by fear, which manifests itself as yellow on the emotional power spectrum. The natives of the planet Zamaron learned how to harness the power of love, which presents itself as violet, and called themselves the Star Sapphire Corps. Red Rage was harnessed by Atrocitus, who formed the Red Lantern Corps, of which Guy Gardner and Supergirl were notable members for a time. In addition to red light construct, Red Lanterns can eject napalm-like plasma from their mouths, which isn't all that special, seeing as I can do the same thing given enough hot sauce and beans. The alien Larfleeze harnessed the orange light of avarice, or greed to those of you who aren't very good with vocabulary, and is also the only owner of an orange power ring and hoards anything he fancies should be his, so Space Golem. If you have notes, we're going to be using a lot of Lord of the Rings terminology today. For the high crime of displaying emotions, the Guardians Cantha and Sade were cast out by their peers and went on to form the Blue Lantern Corps, which used the blue power of hope, and during the Great War of Light was used to encourage the Green Lantern Corps to better and braver deeds. And during said war, the Flash was made a member of the Blue Lantern Corps. There was a group of nomadic aliens who discovered the Indigo powers of compassion and formed the Indigo tribe, and are the only group that, instead of using rings to channel their constructs, use staves. So Gandalf was part of Indigo tribe. One of their powers is that they have the ability to teleport limited distances as well. During the War of Light, the 7 Corps joined together to fight off the Black Lantern Corps, which was led by an old Guardian named Scar and his servant Black Hand. Now what they would do, they would harvest the hearts of heroes and villains, basically turning them into space zombies. And in doing so, they were trying to raise the black entity Necron and take over the universe. The joining of the 7 brought about the appearance of the white light of life, and during the war, Kyle Rayner fused all other emotions together, making the White Lantern Corps to finally overcome the black power of death. Now, each emotional power on the spectrum comes from ancient entity. Now, the entity of Ion represents willpower and appears as a whale or fish. Parallax, which was fear, looks like an insect. The power of rage appears as a demonic bull. Ophidian is seen as a snake and represents avarice or greed. We then have hope as a three-headed bird named Adara. The proselyte is a squid that is the embodiment of compassion. We then have the dragon of love called the Predator, so, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Bane. And then the last two are Necron for death, and the white power of life is known simply as the Entity. Alright, now, comics with the Green Lantern Corps that, this channel, likes and would recommend. The Blackest Night storyline, that's the story of the War of Light. Good read. If zombies and superheroes are your thing, I highly recommend it. Zombies, it's not my thing, but it was a good read. Another good one was the Sinestro Corps War, which is the war between the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lantern Corps. There's also Emerald Dawn, and there might have been one called Emerald Twilight, but I'm not positive. I'd have to do some more research on that. So yeah, Green Lantern, there's some great stories out there. Even the movie, I didn't mind the movie so much. I thought it had the same problems as the Daredevil movie. The acting was great. The problem with it was the writing and the directors. Green Lantern, it was great to finally see Hal Jordan on the big screen. If they could have, tweaked some things a little differently and, not royally messed up Parallax, it would have been a lot better. So, alright, we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope that if you had any questions with our last one, that this helped clear it up. Hit like and subscribe for more. Please leave me a comment down on the bottom. If there's a comic that you'd like us to review, let us know. Put it down in the comment and we'll try and do it. Alright, have a good day. Happy quarantine.